What's good, everybody, man? Welcome to another episode of Historically Black Sense, the premier digital platform for all things HBCU and Divine Nine organizations. Today, man, we have a very special guest on with us. Man, after researching this guy is, he has a lot of titles. I'll just say that. Uh, Author, entrepreneur, man, just an all-around businessman, I will say, but let me get this correct. The chief marketing officer of Moolah Mobile and Moolah Wireless,
Yes.
a philanthropist, author of Pledging for Success. Uh, Jeez, man, I looked at your bio and I saw a whole lot too. I said with Broderick Injury Law, um,
Yeah.
profights.com. We're gonna get into all
Yes.
of that.
Pro fights. Let's go.
Exactly. But without further ado, Mr. Eric Lee Usher, man. Thank you for joining us today.
Oh man, that was beautiful. I appreciate the sentiment. I really do. I really do.
Yeah, definitely. You are a busy man. And I know that, sometimes to step away from such a busy life, it can be kind of hard, but we reached out to you and you didn't hesitate to say, hey, I'll come on. So we definitely appreciate that over here at Historically Black Sense.
Oh
So,
no, I
man,
saw
we're
you
going to go ahead
pro fight. It was automatic. Anybody that's a pro fighter, we automatically get that extension. So it's all of, especially we putting the same agenda, talking the same audience. It's beautiful what you guys are doing. So I'm glad you reached out for real.
Oh man, we appreciate it. So although I did just introduce you, I tell every guest this. I want you to introduce yourself to the audience the way that
Nice.
you will want to be introduced. Because I can introduce you one way, but everybody has so many different titles, and I want you to introduce yourself the way that you want the audience to get to know you first.
I ain't gonna lie, DC. That was a good intro. I can't top that. That was like, another one. That was a good intro. But no.
Okay,
So
cool.
quickly, my name is Eric Lee Usher, member of Kappa Alpha Psi Frternity Incorporated. I'm a founder of Pro Fights app, chief marketing officer of Moolah Mobile, Moolah Wireless. There's a lot to discuss, but the overall kind of objective of who I am, I'm kind of like the giver, the supporter, the educator, the teacher, the mentor. I have taken the time to invest in myself and learn a lot about different topics that I've been able to leverage and use in my business experience. And I've had a lot of failure. Oh my gosh. And it's those failures that really allowed me to feel confident to even get on with you. Because, a lot of us suffer from a lot of imposter syndrome a lot of times when we're being asked to do things to the public. And, it's expected. But I've been able to combat that by really just understanding what my niche is and what my message is and getting really clear on that. So now that I'm clear on that, I'm able to really share that. So that's kind of who I am in a nutshell.
Okay, cool. Now something that stood out to me, in reading your bio and doing a little research of my own. I want to take you back a little bit. At the age of 21, you became one of the top producing insurance agents of an independent agency throughout Georgia, Texas, and Louisiana.
Yes.
Now, we've all been to college, we've all grown, we've all evolved. But we all know how time can be as well when it comes to age, when it comes to that time frame from graduating college to get to your 20s. A lot of people, you're still most people are still in college. Some are out. It all depends. At such a young age, how did you do that? Were you still in college at the time?
I was. I was going to Clayton State University at the time. And I was skipping philosophy. And one of my boys, James Duvall, DJ James Duvall, now happy for that. And we went to American Deli and he was just telling me, man, my pops is doing this insurance thing. It's really working out. It's a good, I was like, well, hold on. Can I talk to your pops? So I was like, hey, I saw an opportunity and I immediately seized it. I said, let me speak to your pops. And I spoke to the dad and I said, can I tell you, can I follow you for a day? So I just, skipped class and I followed his dad for a day. We went to Augusta, went around to have some appointments and clients, and he closed some deals and he made some money right there. And I was like, oh, I could do this. I could do this.
Wow.
So
yeah,
that's kind of how it started. And then it kind of just transitioned from there.
Okay. So you continue to do this do it throughout college as well? Then you had to become one of the top agents.
No, actually, no. So it was a big sacrifice. So I did it through school. It was a very simple program. So it was right around the spring break that I was able to kind of sacrifice my spring break to say, let me go to the training. So I went to the week-long training and became a sub-agent. And the sub-agent is pretty much where you put your license under another agent. And because I was young, new, fresh in the game, I didn't really know. And at that time, that was during the Medicare Part C, where the government just issued a new plan for people to just sign up. And then the government was moving everybody from the government to the insurance companies. So it was the wild, wild west for the insurance agencies, because the government was saying, here's the money, please sign our people up. Just take them away from you guys, do it a lot better. So I was fortunate to have that opportunity, and then meet that. And then I kind of just worked my way up, went through training, and I became successful pretty quickly in that. And I had a choice. Either I continue school or I moved to another state and opened my own brokerage. And after some assessment on figuring out exactly what my true vision is, kind of like how I want to see myself, I was making some good money. And I say, well, I'm kind of an entrepreneur. I've always been one since I was a kid. So let's do this. So I took that leap and I moved to Texas and I started a brokerage there, and we kind of grew from that. Then we went to Louisiana. And then that was like it was tough because it blew up. Just like we were growing so fast that it just blew up, and it just was kind of like a hard time to adjust. But that's when I made that transition from entrepreneurship, which is to corporate, because of that. So I was able to have success, untreated, being the youngest guy in the company. Boom, it blew up. We're infighting. You did this with the money. You mismanaged. Blah, blah, blah. And all black men too, by the way. So that was love. And one of my fraternity brothers, my LB actually was like, nah, bro, let's get you a corporate America so you can have some more stability.
Wow. Well, the first thing is that is a major leap. And on a light note, sometimes, I guess skipping spring break can be good. I don't think I would have had the discipline to do it back then.
Listen,
I don't know. I don't think I would have.
The outcome was
but
good.
It worked out for you good, so that's all that matters.
Yeah, exactly. exactly. I kind of regret it because I never really had a spring break, really. But it was worth it.
Hey, I mean, at this point, you can go have all the spring break you want. I mean, you got these businesses going. You are being very successful. Sometimes it's like, hey, who said it? I think Muhammad Ali said it best. Yeah, I think Muhammad Ali said it best. Suffer now, train and suffer now, and live the rest of your life as a champion. So
exactly. Oh yeah, I know somebody's a pro fight.
Absolutely. So I want to get to your book first.
Okay.
Well, secondly, not first. Pledging for Success. Now, when I read that title, I dissected in my own way of, pledging for success. So I have my own personal thoughts about it. But for people who may not have the same exact thoughts as you, nor I, nor, the next person, what made you write that book? What made you want to become an author in the first place? Because, it's something for everybody. And I've sat down and I've tried to write some pages. I'm just like, man, I don't know if this is for me. I think reading a book is one of the things that should just be left to my imagination.
Okay, that's good. I would say, of course, the title, Pledging for Success. The intention was to allude to that, because I realized during that time where I had massive success and then flat on my face and that failure time, during that time, I really was able to lean on my fraternity. I was leaning on my chapter brothers, the Oak Brothers. And from that, I was like, wait a minute, this is something interesting in here. I'm witnessing an experience that is synonymous with several men, and it's successful. It's matriculated people from where they are to where they're actually trying to go. And I say, well, shoot, if I can do that, I've done it. If they can do it, they're doing it. How can I take that and make it relatable for everybody? Number one. And number two, how can I take that experience and say, hey, this is how you can apply it to your life and success? Because by the time I wrote that book, I've had some other ups and downs, and I was on the restaurant at that time, and actually when it really started writing the book. So I was like, okay, Eric, you know some stuff. So let's leverage that and let's see how you can apply it to your experience. And I took the experience, and then I took the real life experience, and I merged the two, and I made it into a process that can be duplicatable to achieve success. Because success is subjective. It's based on whatever it is that you want success to be. And in the book, there's like a page where it's like, make your pledge, because the pledge is the strongest commitment you can make to yourself. So we all have made a pledge. So I was like, okay, if we make our pledge to success, then as long as we don't turn away from that pledge, no matter how tough those roads are, we're still making that pledge. So we're going to keep going.
Okay, cool. So how long did it take you to write the book? I want to ask that. That's my personal question.
So I started writing it actually when I was in Texas, because when I was, I felt successful and everything. So I started writing it during that time. And I stopped writing it because I failed in my mind. And I was like, oh man, I can't write a book now. I mean, I didn't make it. It fell apart. So I kind of hung it up for some years. I did some, more soul searching, did some more experiences, kind of worked my way back up from like pretty much begging my bros to drive me to the train station so I can go to work, to buying my car, to getting a place, to like really going through that transitionary process of, all right, like, how did I do this? How can if I did this once, I could do it again. So let's duplicate that process all the way up to owning a restaurant. So that's kind of was that transition. And I was like, okay, so I have some other accolades. I said, let me retire for a little bit, because, it's time to end and write the book finally. So that's kind of how it transitioned from that. So I took that experience and I said, now it's time to write the book. Oh, so to answer your question, because you said it a lot, it's for everybody too. The hack to writing a book that I did was I read some courses and stuff like that. I mean, I read some books and stuff. It's to write the back of the book first, the blurb. If you're able to write let me take this off. If you're able to write the blurb, then you're able to kind of have a general idea of what your book is. And then after that, I wrote the chapters. So then I put it in a binder, similar to like one of these little like 3-ring binders, printed it out, and I carried it with me everywhere I went. And every time I had an inspiration, every time I had a thought, I just kind of wrote it in there. And then I hired somebody. Once I got all my thoughts together, I hired somebody to scribe while I talked. So I literally said, hey, if you come to my place I think it was like once a week or twice a week, I'm gonna just share my notes with you. And I just want you to just scribe it for me. And then we're gonna formulate that, hire a copywriter, hire an editor, and go through the self-publishing process.
Wow, that's amazing. Now, I will say the thing that stuck out to me, success is objective, like you said. I feel like a lot of people, they think to be successful, you have to reach $1 billion. You have to have the fanciest cars. We have to, we are in a superficial world society, so to speak, right? But I feel like those set goals that you set for yourself, if you can obtain those or higher, whatever you decide to set, you are successful in what you want to do with your own life. And I feel like that's great that you actually wrote that book, because a lot of people, they need to know that. They need to know that. They need to get out of the superficial thing of just thinking like that's the only way, the only picture of success, because it's not. It's not. You can be successful in your own right and be very content with what you do and still continue to elevate and be very, very comfortable and successful. So yeah, everybody go get that. Go cop that. Pledging for Success.
Oh, that's actually, look above me. That's actually the book right there. That's the second edition.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
Dope. That's dope. That's dope. Okay, so moving right along. Kappa Alpha Psi Frternity Incorporated.
Yo.
All right, I'm gonna ask you like I ask everybody else.
Let's go.
Well, the first thing is a two-part question. The first part is, at what point did you decide that, hey, I want to be a member of this great fraternity? Secondly, did you choose Kappa Alpha Psi, or did Kappa Alpha Psi choose you? And it's crazy that I asked that. I used to think that people would always have the same answer of like, nah, it chose me. But so many people, they have different answers. So now I ask it all the time. Did you choose Kappa Alpha Psi, or did Kappa choose you?
That's actually a very fair question. So to answer the first question, I went to Albany State my freshman year, and I really got the HBCU experience. And I remember, it probably was like the first semester the Kappas came out. They just got back on the yard, and the probate was just insane. And I've never seen anything like that. I was like, oh, what the heck is this? So it just really just shook me. And I was like, oh, and all the energy, all the they were just coordinated. It was just so much passion that was expressed. And I was like, okay, this is interesting. All right, this is different. So this is what college is. And then I remember it was actually a bruh from Albany State, Randy. I mean, we were doing some kind of fashion show, and he was late, and because it was just, you know, the brothers are always late. And it's like when he walked in the room, it's like everybody's like, oh, here goes Randy and stuff like that. And the way everybody kind of just shifted their energy towards that persona. And I was like, what's that? And then I started noticing that same persona in other members. I was like, oh, that's interesting. Okay. So I kind of had like that respect for the brothers. I was like, all right, I see my persona emulating that. So then I attempted to drop out, and my parents was like, nah, bro, you listen, you just a freshman. Wait till you at least get junior year before you make that decision. So they enrolled me in Clayton State. And against my decision, because I was like, no, I'm doing entrepreneurship. But they enrolled me in Clayton State. Thank God they did. And there were no bros on the yard. It was just some Sigmas, the Deltas, and the Alphas. So it was a very, very small campus, but they were all cool. They were all intimate. And I actually didn't know about the interest meeting. I forgot. I didn't know. So one of my boys was like, yo, man, once an interest meeting, you should go. I was like, no, you should get down with this. I was like, oh, when is that happening? Oh, we got to make a decision like now. I was like, oh, okay. Oh, that's interesting. I was like, well, how does this work? Because there's no bros on the yard. He's like, well, you got to meet with the alumni. So I met with the alumni, and I had the GPA. At that time, I had a 3.8, something like that. So I was like, oh, you Mr. Smarty Pants. So I made it happen. It was kind of a situation where he was like, so listen, this is who we are. This is what we're trying to do. And I was like, I already know who y'all are. I didn't know it was even available because there was no brothers in the yard. But you telling me I get to be a charter member? Sign me up. I'll figure it out. And I became the charter member of the Omicron Omega chapter, along with 6 other men. And I was the first Tomark, first president. So, and that just changed my life ever since.
Okay, dope. And like I say, that's why I asked that question, because people have so many different answers, and it's never just the, I guess, cliche answer that I thought it would be from the jump. But to be a charter member, that's definitely dope. That's definitely dope. I think that's a great asset to your story, I will say.
Oh, yeah, it feels good.
So, what did you major in? And also, what did you major in? I'll come back to that. Communication. Okay. So going to Albany State, your first year, leaving there and transitioning to Clayton State, was that a major transition? And what were the two different, I guess, if you had to compare and contrast the two, what would be the comparisons as well as anything that I guess would be a contrast of those two? What did you learn at Albany State that you didn't learn at Clayton? What did you learn at Clayton that you didn't learn at Albany? Whether inside the classroom or outside of the classroom.
Oh my, listen. So HBCU and PWI, night and day. The fortunate part about Albany, night and day. I was very fortunate enough to be really involved in my freshman year at Albany State, because I did the student enrollment where I got to work for the theater department, because at Albany State I was a theater major. And I got to really be involved in the theaters, which means I got to know all like the people that was in charge of the activity planning. I became a Holly ambassador, and then I was an ambassador king and was in the parade during homecoming. I really got to enjoy the HBCU culture. I was giving tours around campus to all the visiting families and stuff that was showing up and stuff. And it was just different. Like the family, it's like it was a family. Like it was like you all went to school with each other. Like we all went to school with each other. We played pranks on each other. We had beef. It like, you know, we was on the dorms. Like a lot of stuff went down. It was a culture that you just cannot substitute. You can't. So then I was like, all right, I kind of experienced this culture. I did the fashion show. I was even in the fashion show. I did all that. I did everything. I was like, I'm gonna do everything I can. Screw this. This is an amazing experience. So I did everything I could that they allowed me to do. Then I was like, all right, I've experienced that. Let me go focus on my entrepreneurship now. Then I was like, nah, bro, you're going to Clayton State, PWI. And I was like, Clayton State, where is this? Like, this is in Georgia? Like, what? So I went there and for real. And I looked at the site and I was like, ooh, they got a lot of lakes. Okay. Oh, they got some white folks. Okay, that'd be different. Okay. All right, let me try that out. So I went there and culture shock. We were not there. Now Clayton State now, 2022, very, very, very black.
A little different.
Life played a big role into that. a huge role into that, I believe. And that's a whole story with Clayton State News. But it was different. It was more, it felt like it wasn't people going to school to get an education and really focus on their studies and stressed about that and not really kind of be a part of, because I also joined the student activity committee immediately as soon as I joined. And it was a different culture. It wasn't as community based, but we tried within our activity group to make it that. And it's kind of grown into that, I think, strongly because of Greek life.
Dope. That's why I asked, because it's definitely different. It's a big difference between PWIs and HBCUs. I haven't, personally attended a PWI. I'm a graduate of an HBCU. However, I mean, you can see it. You can see it when you're around people that's attended a PWI, and just from conversing and having, dialogue with people who attended a PWI, it's a major difference. It's a major difference. And that's a lot of things that I can just see as, HBCUs are a family. Like you stated, it's like everyone, it's a family. It's a very intimate setting. And it's just, I feel like it's an experience that you just can't get at a PWI, in my opinion. That once again, that's my opinion. So, but that's what I think. Yeah. Okay. Now, once again, I'm gonna go back to your bio. I looked at your bio. I see just checking in out.
Yes.
Yeah. Let's talk to us about that a little bit first.
So, just checking in. It's a mental health daily wellness app. So essentially every time, so during the pandemic, a lot of people were checking in on each other like once or twice a month. It wasn't really, sometimes never. A lot of the senior citizen market, they go without being checked in for days, sometimes weeks. And isolation and loneliness is probably one of the biggest causes of depression. And a lot of us are going through a lot of depression right now because, we haven't really confronted what this isolation truly did to us. It affected us on a biological level and a mental. So just checking in was just a simple app to say, you know what, every day you set your time. Like my check-in time is at 6. I probably didn't check in. So my mom has got alerted that, hey, Eric didn't check in today. Check in on him. So then she sends me a text message. Hey, Eric, you didn't check in today. Can you check in? I'm like, yes. And then because she texted me, now I'm communicating with my mom. How was your day? I hope you had a good day. And that's just kind of just how it grew into that. So it's a really simple, just checking in. There's a free version for everybody to just get notification. And then the paid version is we're going to try to use those funds the goal is to be able to offset therapy for our users. So we want to do some kind of a situation where if you check in for 30 days in a row, then you unlock a therapy credit that either a therapist is going to donate or we'll do a partnership with an existing health provider or whatever. And then they will give those credits so they can at least reclaim 1 hour free therapy.
Okay. See, now that's different. That's very different. Just when you think that you've heard it all, or when you think that you've seen mostly every app that can be invented, you have not. That is a very clever app. Like you said, it's something simple, but it means so much because it's just checking in. Like you stated, it's sad that the elderly they don't get checked in on the way that they should. It was very unfortunate situation, but I feel like that's a very, very dope app. Just the idea and the thought process behind it, I think is a very clever thing. Which also shows that, your level of, I guess, just being a human and not being a selfish human being, first of all. So I definitely commend that. I commend it 100%. The Broderick injury law. Now, what in the world affiliation do you have with that?
So Broderick injury law. That's my best friend. We've known each other since middle school, and he's been around law since we met. Like he was like the mill guy, like in like middle school. Literally, he's always been around law, so he's always kind of just grown in law. He's a Morehouse man. Went to Morehouse. He's a member of Kappa Alpha Psi as well. And I remember when he opened his firm, he was like, you know what? Let me kind of get my feet wet. Let me actually learn a lot of land. Let me really get it going where we can scale to the point where it's like, hey, when I need to tap on you, I'm a tap on you. So now listen, you're whatever you need, bro. Whenever you need me, just let me know. And he was like, hey, we're in a really nice position right now. It'll be great if we can just do this together. And I was like, bro, whatever, let's go. So we just kind of joined forces, and I just help as best as I can. And it's a synergistic situation. So yeah, Roderick is based out of
now. What you just said, that's about to take me to I said we're gonna keep it around 30 minutes. So I'm gonna try my best to do that. That's gonna take me to the profights.com, because after reading about, reading about what it means, the purpose of the app, it kind of intertwines with what you just said.
Exactly.
What I know, but for the sake of me interviewing you, tell the people about that. Where did profights what did that app come from? What does it mean? What's the purpose of it? What was the brain power behind it?
So profights.com launched in 2012. So this is actually our 10-year anniversary, and we went through many different iterations. So the concept of getting Divine Nine members online has been done several times, like Divine Nine Online, right? He's actually abroad, and he does a lot of D9 excursions every year, like some of the best destinations and stuff like that. He's been able to pivot that into a really viable business. So with the Profights app, I was able to jump into tech and really learn tech and understand tech. And I got burned by several developers. I have one of the top developers in the country actually as a partner that's kind of directing me and leading me through understanding tech. And I realized that, oh, shoot, guys, we can leverage tech to really do some damage in this community, because if you really analyze the Divine Nine members on an individual front, they're doing damage. Like really good, they're like that good work. Like they're getting legislation passed, like they're getting appointed in offices, they're executives and boards. Like Divine Nine members are really making an impact in the community. And one of the biggest catalysts to that is the active members. The members that are active, that are paying their annual dues, they're funneling and funding that initiative for our presidents to go out there and do that good stuff in the communities, especially on the local level and national level. So it was like, well, why are we not together? Why don't we have our own situation? Like we have our own conversation. Like I can have 5 different conversations with you right now. And if you're not D9, you're not going to understand what you and I are talking about. And we're in 2 different organizations, right? So we have that bond that's there. So it's like, let's leverage that bond. Let's honor our founders. Let's leverage technology, and let's get on a platform that's for us, by us, that's intended for us to scale and grow and build that group economics, which we call Divine Nine economics.
Wow. That's something, it was very interesting. That was very interesting when I was actually, when I was reading about it, just reading how the app works and the purpose of the app, because we do have a lot within our own community. We have a lot of resources that's right there. We just need the dots connected, which is another reason why, we have this particular platform that we're on, talking to each other on right now. It's because, hey, we connecting what you do to the audience, and, vice versa. Even myself, I'm learning some things, hey, it's a lot of things that you have going on I might need to reach out about. But
let's do it.
Yeah, it's definitely, it's so much right there in our community. And it's crazy that, we're all D9, and granted, you might be founded on different principles, and you might have, different mottos and things of that nature. However, I mean, let's be real. We all for the common good. We all are supposed to be for the common good. So, hey, why not reach out to this person who's a part of this organization or this organization that's not yours? At the end of the day, man, we all are there to help each other. And I feel like that's a great central location and a great melting pot for Divine Nine organization members to come through, network, reach out and do what they need to do. And it's like right there. I think that's a great idea. I thought that was the one. I'm gonna be honest with you. I like the checking in out. That's dope. But I like the
the Profights is one. Like that's I mean, especially how we're doing it and how we're building Divine Nine economics. Like we're leveraging technology, which we built the app. It's available now, iOS and Android. It's a free account for Divine Nine members, but we have a premium account also because it's a business model to fund everything. And then we even allow supporters to get on there. So if you're a Divine Nine supporter and you want to get access to us, that's a paid account though, because that paid account is going to help fuel our Divine Nine economics. But for the members, it's free, but you got to get verified. That's the thing. We have a very KYC that's built into the app where if you get verified, you get a check mark on your profile so you can know that you're actually a verified member.
I love that. I love that. That blue check, man. You need that blue check sometimes for a lot of different reasons and status, but you really need it. You really need it. But but yeah, you know, like I said, 30 minutes. I'm gonna hold myself to that. I'm a little bit over right now, but I'm gonna hold myself to that.
Well, it's good.
But,
listen, we can go as long as you want. It's on you. I'm honored to have this conversation with somebody that you know cares. This is beautiful.
Oh man, absolutely, absolutely. So you know, for anyone who wants to, I guess, just hop into any of the industries that you have going on, whether if they want to hop in and they may want to write a book off of their experience of trying to become a successful entrepreneur, a person who wants to hop into entrepreneurship, and you know, that's a whole another ball game that people really don't understand. What would you tell them if someone says, "Hey, look, I want to build something just like you did. I want to start out with insurance." You know, whatever the case may be, what would you tell these people? What would you leave the audience with?
Ooh, I wish we had more time. The first thing I would say, because I'm trying to be as impactful as possible. Well, it's going to sound cliche. It's because that's the thing about information. It's like it's repeated over and over and over again. And you kind of already know what you want to do. You kind of already know what you kind of have to do because we have so much information that's just there. A lot of times we're waiting for somebody to kind of spoon feed that to us. I would say this, if I can just give some value right now, just say, hey, listen, you understand that you have to measure your own success based off what you're trying to accomplish. Right? Everybody has their own level of success. Everybody has their own metric for success. But the best part about success is it can fluctuate, right? You may go after something and you just don't get it. But a lot of times when we stumble, we're actually, you know, we're falling forward. We all know that, right? So you just have to make the conscious effort to say, you know what? Let me just try this. Don't even say I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna be this. I'm gonna be that. Have the positive affirmations. But when it comes to business specifically, because business is numerical, business is analytical, you can actually track business. Business is predictable. So if you want to be an entrepreneur, if you want to be a business owner, you have to figure out what your business model really is and then work backwards from there. Like really understand what is the service you're offering. Because at the end of the day, we're all in business to make money. But if you're able to have a business model that not only makes you money, but do good, then you'll make a lot of money because a lot of people need that service. So it's important that, you know, don't just, I want to be this, I want to be that. Okay, that's great. But let's be really focused, like laser sharp focus on, all right, what is it that I'm trying to accomplish? And just to give you a second layer, just to take it there, I always ask everybody, what's your number? Like what's your real number? We all like to have this fake number. Oh, I want to be 100 millionaire. I want to be a billionaire. You know, I want to be a 10. Listen, stop. What's your real number? And the way you determine your real number is to figure out what's the lifestyle that you want to have. Period. What's the lifestyle you want to have? Put that number on paper and say, all right, and listen, be obnoxious. You want to have a villa in Thailand. You want to have a condo, a loft in New York. You want to have a beach house. Literally take the time, write all that information down. You want to drive 2 cars. You want a private chauffeur. You want a private chef. Write all that down. Do it numerically because it's analytical, which means it can be predictable. Write that down and then look at that number and circle it. It's going to surprise everybody because everybody's going to be like, wait a minute. That's all I need to feel like I'm successful? Why am I going after these billions and why am I hearing millionaire? Why is this millionaire number keep? Because that's marketing. That's marketing. So get your real number. Once you figure out what your real number is, you can't be stopped because now you have a numerical. Then you can look at your account and be like, well, I ain't there yet, but I know what number I need to get to. And then in order to secure that number, which we've been talking about all the time, is guys, straight hack, honestly, real estate, life insurance, stocks. And the only reason you do that is because you put money into an asset that you can loan against so you don't pay taxes. That's it. That's it. That's the only reason why we do it. So once you know your number, then you're able to say, all right, how do I put that number in those vehicles so I can have a residual for the rest of my life?
Wow. See, that was some great knowledge, which is why I wanted to ask that question again. See, it's always the reason why I love to ask these questions. Man, look, write your number down. I'm gonna go write me a new number down when we get done with this interview.
I'm gonna email you my direct cell.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Also, it's all profiles. I'm open. I want to let's connect. Let's unite. Let's just do it, y'all. Let's just really do it. Like the money is there. Like let's just pull it together and let's do it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Another point that I want to hit, very, very quickly. Moolah Wireless.
Yes, thank you.
How did that come about? Just talk to me about that.
Okay,
I read it. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
You understand? No, you get it. So this is going to be for your audience as well too. So Moolah Wireless. I'm the CMO for Moolah Wireless. CEO is Vernell Woods. Go to moolahwireless.com. We have TI as a partner. Like, it's one of those things where we able to give tablets to Morris Brown, Payne College. We're going down to Alabama in November. Like, if you are a Pell Grant student, listen, students, if you are a Pell Grant student, go to moolahwireless.com and apply for a tablet that we give you for free that the government pays us to give you. It's that simple. It's a free tablet with 12 months of service. The government, so the ACP program, the Affordable Connectivity Program, was passed by Biden, which pretty much says they're going to allocate an X amount of dollars for people that are on all government programs, food stamps, student lunch, Pell Grants, veterans, tribal lands, like you name it. If you're on a government program, you can apply to get a Moolah Wireless tablet, and we'll ship it to you at no cost. You never have to pay a monthly bill. And then the best part about that is we added Moolah Mobile to the tablet, which means you're able to actually earn money from just having the tablet that you can redeem for gift cards, buy in our marketplace, donate to your school, your church. It's a built-in ecosystem, Black owned. This dude Vernell Woods is a beast. Georgia Tech presidential scholar. Like, his resume is insane. So that, like, we really need to, like, let's go.
No, that's dope. And I feel like that's the clip that we're gonna put out on this interview first, because people need to know that, man. There's so many resources that's available. And even back when we were in college, it was a lot. But a lot of times people don't put it out there, and a lot of times people don't research. But once again, I'm glad that we have this platform so we can put it on the forefront. Like, hey, look, it's no tricks and gimmicks. This is what it is.
Yeah, this is what it is.
And where in Alabama are y'all going?
So we're going to the classics. So we're actually we're going to the classics.
Okay.
November 12th is where we're going.
Because I'm a graduate of Alabama State. I know.
So we're working on that booth. So you got to come by to the booth and stuff, because we're going to be giving away tablets. We're just going to be giving away. Dope. We got about 10,000. I like that. Right now. So it's a first come, first serve, and then we got about 20,000 coming afterwards, and then 100,000. So the more the demand, the more we order, and then we just give it to the community.
Dope, man. Y'all heard that. All right, get your tablets. Get your tablets. Moolah Wireless. Let's go. Absolutely. I did want to touch on that, because I did read that in your bio as well. And I was like, okay, this man has so many hats. I was like, Moolah Wireless, and I've heard of it. I actually saw my first introduction of that was, I want to say it was on the news. I saw it, the news, or it could have been social. Yeah. And I saw it was giving the tablets away.
Yeah.
And I see some on the news, and it catch my attention sometimes, because I don't really watch it like that because it's so depressing. But but that caught my attention, and that was my first introduction of it. But it's good to actually hear someone who's on the inside to get a different view, and someone just an inside inside, I guess, some inside dialogue on it. So yeah, absolutely, man.
And it looked like us, because we're really like one of two that's only Black owned that's actually doing this, because there's other companies that distribute the tablets. We just own the tablets, we own the software, and we have the contract directly with the federal government. So we're the first to do that. So it's feels good to do it. It feels really good to do it.
That's amazing. That's amazing, man. That's definitely amazing. So like I said, man, I appreciate you for coming on and just taking time out of your day to come on and spread some knowledge to the audience and drop some gems and some jewels. I'm pretty sure the audience would get a lot out of this interview. Man, I appreciate it, man.
Definitely. If y'all want to link with me, go to Eric Lee Usher at my Instagram, ericleeusher.com. All the other links to the Profites app, to the Moolah, to just checking in is all there as well. So, yeah.
There you have it.
DC,
so
man,
there's nothing else that Mr. Eric Lee Usher wants to say, man. We're going to get up out of here.
Hey, man, salute. I appreciate you, sir.
Hey, thank you, man. Thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of Historically Black Sense, man, the premier digital platform for all things HBCU and D9 organizations. We out of here. We'll see you next time.